अखिलं मधुरम् वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वतनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् करणं मधुरं चरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं कृष्ण
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। 10th अनुवाका 11th mantra. Please repeat after me. विकिरिद विलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगम् हेतयोन्यमस्मिन् निपपन्तु ताः So for this, the dhyana shloka is Prasannavadanam Shantam Charitodvahamandanam Ambaya Sahitam Dhyayet Surasanghairabhishtutam. May we meditate upon that Lord, Dhyayet. See, the word is just one, but to put it, it is almost a sentence. Dhyayet, meaning may we meditate upon. Upon who? Upon that Lord who is Prasannavadanam, Prasannavadanam, the one who has a very pleasant, serene smile. The entire universe may be upside down, but he is always calm, not overwhelmed. Prasannavadanam. Probably another reason, when the devotee comes to the Lord as a mark of recognition, yes, I know you. Now, when you know someone and you look at them and you have a blank look on your face, and you look through them, you're like, what happened to you? You don't know me? Or when you look at someone and you know that person, and then you beam forth that smile, and then the other person also feels that reassuredness, that there's somebody connecting with you. So this Bhagavan, meditate upon that Lord, that as soon as you think of him, he is smiling at you, recognizing you. Prasannavadanam. Shantam. Shantam, he is very composed and peaceful. Very composed and peaceful. Charitodvaha mandanam. He is the divine bridegroom of who? Ambaya Sahitam, of Amba or Parvati Devi. Ambaya Sahitam, therefore he is also known as Samba. Many places we read Samba Sadashiva. Samba meaning Sahitam, Ambaya, meaning along with Amba. Therefore Samba. Ambaya Sahitam Dhyayet. And Surasangaihi Abhishtutam. He is in the company of lots of gods and goddesses, and they are in praise of this Lord. Not doing mukhastuti. Mukhastuti is when you want to get some things done and then you keep praising them. Chadana bolte hain usko. Even to be more specific, chane ke jad pe chadana. Have you seen chana plant? It is hardly this much. And to constantly, whip somebody up, you are such, you are, and then we fall trapped to that because there is a hidden agenda behind. There is no hidden agenda. It is just that the Lord is praiseworthy and they are praising his glories. Surasangaihi abhishtutam. Prasannavadanam shantam charitodvahamandanam ambaya sahitam dhyayet surasanghair abhishtutam. So the Rishi for this particular mantra is Pulastya, and the Chanda that it is in Trishtup Chanda, and the Devata is Shambhu Devata. The results is, whenever we are in a working environment, whether it is at home or at office when you are working, and there are these important people, Like if you're working at home and you have your in-laws, you may be the best diamond out there. But somewhere in between, when the in-law tag adds on to the mother, so far she has been very, very docile, very loving. Suddenly that in-law makes her, very harsh. That they'll start finding blemishes in that where they may not be blemish. Or you're working with a boss who is constantly a nagging person, never happy, never appreciates, constantly censuring. See, you may not praise the other person when it is not worth it, but constantly censuring someone, constantly criticizing, constantly belittling them. With such important people, when there are these unsettling vibes, when there is that quarrel, by chanting this mantra along with this dhyana shloka, such vibrations are nullified. So, to all the uh, daughter-in-laws, mother-in-laws, in this country it is son-in-law and mother-in-law. I don't know why the equation is changed here. Or the boss and the subordinates. This is a good mantra. And it also wins their favor. They start becoming favorable towards you. That when you bring in a new idea, a new concept, they'll start listening to you with an open mind. That yes, this fellow is bringing something, let us at least give this person an opportunity, a hearing, without just shutting it away. You win favors of such people, important people. It also helps in winning the enemies within and outside, within and without. And it also has Purascharana Siddhi. But the Purascharana Siddhi, one has to chant this mantra 10,000 times per day for 3 days. While you are observing something called Charu Bhojana. Charu Bhojana, this is not a Telugu word. In Telugu, Charu means rasam. Charu meaning that which is the most sattvic diet, which has these 4 elements in it: rice, barley, sesame seeds, and pulses. All of them that can fit into, all of them, not each one fistful, all of them fitting into your fist, and that you cook, offer it as naivedya, and then eat it as prasada once a day. 3 days. And after having done this 10,000 times, 3 days with this kind of naivedya, that being your food as well, then find the nearest Shiva temple and do the pradakshina of that Shiva temple once, 10,000 times. One thing is for sure, as I see it here, just as an observer, 3 days eating that kind of food and sitting in one place and chanting and doing immediately 10,000 times, you would immediately lose those 10 to 12 pounds. So it will make you healthy inside and outside. The human being has a tenacity to stay alive without food for at least a week, as long as they are with water. They can stay alive even for about 16, 17 days. After that, they start becoming little disoriented, but otherwise, they can stay alive. When will all the layers of fat come in use? They will be transformed. They will convert into energy. Anyways, coming to the mantra. Vikirida vilohida namaste astu bhagavaha yaste sahasra gamheta yonyamasman nivapantutaha. Vikirida, there are various meanings for this particular word. As we dwell on it, we will learn different meanings. The simplest meaning, the destroyer of all papa or sin is Vikirida. Kiri means sin. Kirida means that which is the effect of the sin, all disturbances that we experience. Vikirida, the one who removes all the papa and their impact, their effects of. Vilohita, Vilohita, the one who is pure. Namahate astu, unto such one, unto such pure one, salutations. And I have spoken enough on this namaste, but it is a very beautiful reference that in that act of namaste, what is important is not the individual who is offering that namaskara, but it is unto whom that is being offered. That is all that is important. Otherwise, if you put that in a sentence, aham te namaskaromi, aham namaste karomi, aham namaha te karomi. This is the whole sentence. So in this sentence, aham and karomi, the ahankara and the doership is not important. What is important is that unto whom this namaskara is being offered, te, and the salutations, the act of surrender. Literally, sir under, head under. So that unto whom we are offering, it is not even if he is recognizing or not. The act is important. Because wherever we do namaskara, they are compelled to give Ashirvada. The moment they do namaskar. See, in North, especially in Punjab and UP, other areas, it is one good habit that I find. Irrespective of where you are meeting your elder, whether it is in the railway platform or in the train or in the airport or bus or office, wherever you meet them, first thing that is bend down, at least to the knee level. Kabaddi, kabaddi, kabaddi. Whenever somebody does that, the only thing that goes in my head is kabaddi, kabaddi, kabaddi. Because that is how they do, right? At least to the knee level, they bend down. क्या कहते हैं पंजाबी में? पैरी पौना? हाँ, पैरी पौना. And what is the blessing? जीते रहे पुत्र. Some Ashirvada has to be given. They are compelled to give that Ashirvada. Cannot ignore. That is why even in the battlefield, when Yudhishthira does namaskara to Bhishma, Drona and Kripacharya, Bhishma says, now you have put me in a fix. Who is it that you are offering this namaskara to? Is it to the commander, the commanding chief, or is it your grandfather? Definitely to my grandfather, not to the commanding chief. We know each other before even this war. Grandfather. Then he picks both his hands and says, Vijayi Bhava. Irritating this Duryodhana who was standing next to him. Not next, behind him. What is wrong with you? He is in our opposite side. He did namaskara, I am compelled to give Ashirvada. You could have said, Jeete rahe. May you live. Vijayi Bhava. So, Namahate astu. And who is it that I am offering this namaskara to? Bhagavaha. Bhagavaha, the one who is endowed with 6 different qualities. What are those qualities? We'll come to it in the explanation. Like when somebody is having a lot of strength, what do we call them? Balavan. Right? Those who have bala, they are called balavan. Dhana, dhanavan. Similarly, the one who has these 6 qualities, therefore he is called Bhagavan. Bhagavaha, the one who is endowed with these 6 qualities. Yaha te sahasram hetayah. You are also with thousands of weapons. Hetayah, weapons. How many? Innumerable number of weapons, different kinds. Anyam nivapantu asmat na. Use them on those who have anya bhava. For me who has the ananya bhava, the devotion unto you, may that weapon be as a protector, not as a punishing one. How much sin must he have committed to constantly keep reminding himself that, oh Lord, I have done enough. I have done enough of papa karma. Now, why is it that he is referring it so many times? What is the greatest sin? The rest of them are like the feeders in continuing that sinful existence. They are not even considered as the great sin. What is the greatest sin? The greatest sin is forgetting oneself as that Atman and behaving as though we are limited jiva. That in itself is the great sin. The rest of them which continue to sustain that jivatva, you have committed a big blunder. All these are chota mota that are already included in it. So Lord, since I have forgotten my true nature, that in itself is a great sin. But now I am ananya bhavena, without any break. I am constantly, consistently devoted with conviction unto you. So may these weapons be protecting me. So together, comprehensively, the meaning: O Lord, who is the one who condemns all sins. O Lord, you are the pure one. O Lord, you are the one who is endowed with these 6 qualities. May our salutations be unto your feet. May the thousands of weapons that you have destroy the sins. May destroy that who is not aligned with you. I can always pray that, oh Lord, protect me, oh Lord, save me. What is he saying that, kill others? Who are you to say that, man? Meri marji, if I want to or not, who are you to say that? The anya bhava, that which it creates, that in itself is a sin. That anya bhava, as soon as it takes its ugly hood, kill that. Now, what is this anya bhava? The entire creation is an expression of that Paramatma, including you, me, and everyone. Now, when I look at my own physical self, there is no right hand greater than left hand or right eye better than left eye. Everything is uniform one. The entire creation is that way, one Paramatma alone. But how do I see that world? I don't see that world as the world is an expression of Paramatma, as an extension of that Paramatma, but I see it with Anya Bhava, with that separateness, that I am this individual and there are these other individuals and things and environments, and I am trying to interact with them and to focus and calculate and either win over them or keep them under my grip or react to them constantly so that I can substantiate my egotistical existence. So much so that even the bhava of prema becomes an equation of exchange, equation of business. That also is a calculated effort. That anya bhava, that sin, destroyed. The couple of meanings of this particular mantra. The first one, kiratihi himsa karma. Kiratihi means violent karma, violent action. Kirim himsam dadati iti. Kirim meaning that which brings in violence. Thought, word and deed at all levels is called kiri. Probably that is why in Tamil they say kirk. I'm just extending it and extrapolating it. Kiri means violence in thought, word and deed. Even in thought, to think, to assume that I have to harm someone, that is also kiri. Kirim himsam dadati iti. Kiridani ayudhani tad rahitaha vikiridaha. Kiri is himsa, and the one who creates the impact, dadati, is kirida, and the one who is absent of it and removes that away, because he is endowed with that capacity, with all the astra shastra ayudha and other things that he is endowed with, he is enabled with to remove it. Therefore he is called vikirida. The one who destroys, condemns the violence or stops them using his various weapons. Now, the best weapon is that which you don't even need to use. Sometimes when you have your children and the guests have come in and they are doing something which they should not, and in front of them you can't even say anything, so you look at them, one glance. No, अच्छा नहीं रहेगा बेटा. One glance, and immediately they're like, even that is a weapon. नजरों से मार डालना. Vilohita. Vilohita. Lohita means red in color, which represents rajasic nature. Tad vihitaha. That who is devoid of any rajas, meaning there is no rajas or tamas, meaning the one who is pure by nature. Therefore, vilohitaha. O Lord, the one who can take away the violence and the impact of violence. The one who is pure and the one who is Bhagavaha. Aishwaryasya samagrasya वीर्यस्य यशसः श्रियः ज्ञान वैराग्ययोश्चैव षण्णा भग इतीरिता ऐश्वर्यस्य समग्रस्य वीर्यस्य यशसः श्रियः ज्ञान वैराग्ययोश्चैव षण्णां भग इतीरिता samagrasya, all of these in a very comprehensive manner, in a very complete manner, like they are overflowing. It is not like all these six are there in like little quantities and you are always scared. Why can't you spend? I can't. I'll save it for the rainy day. No, he has samagrasya. He has in pushkala. Like he has in plenty. Samagrasya. What are they? Aishwaryasya. Aishwarya here means glory. His physical self and all the attributes that he has is glorifying. Samagrasya. Complete. Viryasya. Viryasya, strength. Complete strength. Yasha. Yasha is fame. Shriyaha. Shriyaha, wealth. Jnana, knowledge. Vairagya, that is the key. He has all of them and yet he is completely dispassionate. He is not attached to all these. He is not holding on to it. He has complete dispassion to it. The one who is endowed with these six qualities, Aishwaryasya samagrasya, Viryasya yashasah sriyaha, Jnana vairagyayoschaiva shannam bhaga itirita. Endowed with these six qualities, that one is called Bhagavan, Dhanavan, Dhanayuktaha, Balavan, Balayuktaha, Bhagavan, Bhagayuktaha, the one who has the six qualities. Shadgunavachitvam smaryate. These six qualities is what is referred here as Bhaga. To such one who has such amazing strength, amazing glory, fame, wealth, knowledge and dispassion, to him is our salutations. Namahate astu. And in offering that salutation, always when there is two hands put together. A single hand salutation does not give the completeness. Kyun Guru? Kaise ho? No, both hands should be together. And even when the Shashtanga Namaskara is done, both hands come together, one over the other, both legs come together, one over the other, and then you offer that salutation. The various levels this can be explained. The entire body is considered as having a lot of electric and magnetic energy. Of course, spiritual energy which gives forth this magnetic and electrical energy. And when you put together, the circuit is complete. When you take it away, then it is short-circuited. And that is why even when you are sitting in dhyana, you are requested to put it in this loop, chin mudra, and place it on your knee. And there is a special advice that never leave it like this, because the earth can draw all this energy, or put it in your lap with your hands together, so that that circuit is complete. And as you are generating with your mantra japa and dhyana, that is rechannelized within and create that momentum to glide towards that supreme. So always have in namaskara both hands together. Namahate astu. Now you have thousands of weapons, innumerable number of gadgets that you have. For each situation, there is a different weapon that you have. Do not use them on us. Let them not hurt us or destroy. Anyam nivapantu. Anyam meaning papam nipavantu. And what is the greatest sin? The greatest sin is that conviction which creates separateness, which creates divisions. That is why when the recent Prime Minister of India, when he said his, at least the slogan that he started with, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Chalo, there's at least one who is talking to bring everybody together, to see everybody together at oneness. Even to have that vision, to find that oneness, to bring everything together and see it with that oneness, not with separateness. And this separateness is born out of so many conditionings. I am Purusha, you are Stri. I am Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. I am Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. These are all the name tags for the physical and the emotional package. Tags. That which is enlivening this package has no tags. But these are the conditionings. I am Bharatiya, another tag, another conditioning. I am Sanatana Dharmi, I am Hindu, another tag. Therefore, when Adi Shankaracharya ji, after having taken his bath in Ganga Maya, comes out with his Shishya, and right in front of him stands this Chandala. That Chandala, he is the one who takes care of the crematorium. This happens again in Kashi, right outside of Manikarnika, the one which we were mentioning 2 days ago. And then Adi Shankaracharya ji looks at this Chandala and says, Gacha Gacha iti. Chal hat, move. I am going to the temple. The Chandala, not taking it as an insult, looks straight into Adi Shankaracharya ji's eyes and he says, "Theek hai. But what is it that exactly that you want to move away from? Sharirat shariram va, Atma tattvat Atma tattvam va." A very simple question, objection that he raises. If you are asking the body to move away from body, you are the same Panchamahabhuta Krita body. I am also the same. From the Atma Tattva, you are also that consciousness. I am also that consciousness. From which standpoint are you asking to move from what? And any movement seems to be foolish. Then immediately it strikes into Adi Shankaracharya ji. Then he starts singing Manisha Panchakam. and advice to his own conviction, Manisha. It says, Ityesha Manisha Mama. O Lord, thank you for clarifying my confusion. I did not realize how deep this thought was embedded. Now I have realized that conditioning, and it has been cut asunder. And there are various standpoints that we can look into that story. Through that incident of dialogue between Adi Shankaracharya ji and Bhagavan Shiva, who was in the form of that Chandala, it was a message given to the rest of us. One way to look at it, which is how a true bhakta would have advised. Another way to look at it is, imagine, even for that Adi Shankaracharya ji, who right from the age of 5-6 years old, who has learnt the entire Veda, who had given the meaning of Vishnu Sahasranama at the age of 8, who had taken sannyasa at that age and constantly practicing dhyana yoga. Even for him, there was that kshana bangura. Like, for a moment, there was a lapse in that clarity. For him who has been applying consistently. For us, I won't say it is chalta firta spirituality. Today I have enough punya that I can sit in this satsanga once in a time, once in a month. Or too much of spirituality also not okay. Hajam nahi hota hai. Cannot be digested, too much of it. Once in a while, little bit is okay. Many people who say, Swamiji, we come here so that we can charge ourselves up. I said, rightfully so, that Guruji has named this center as socket. Plug yourself in. Once a week we come, charge ourselves up. But this is not a once in a week. That is why when our satsanga becomes a weekly effort, it does not have strength, because it is weekend satsanga. It doesn't carry strength. It has to be so consistent, because these knots, these conditionings are very deep. And these conditionings are the ones which create that sense of separateness. One has to watch, one has to carefully observe, not to fall trap to any conditioning. As if these conditionings were not sufficient, another layer of conditioning, I am talking from my perspective, is the moment majority of Hindus, the moment you see somebody in ochre robe, put them on pedestal. And I immediately try to get down from there. No, that is for somebody who is worthy of that position. That becomes a conditioning again. There's so many layers of these conditionings, and one has to constantly observe. Thereby, sadhana is not just half an hour a day or once in a week, but it is every single moment of our waking world is a sadhana. How consciously I am interacting with my day-to-day interactions, and how unconditional are they? That I am catering to that particular situation, and after having catered to it, I wipe that slate clean. It's almost like as the doctor performs, before getting into every surgery, washes himself up very clean, and after the process is done, they clean themselves up, so much so that the clothes that they wear while they do that is called scrubs, because more than the operation, all that they are focusing is scrubbing. Before and after, that cleanliness is required. That is how every single experience has to be interacted with. that there are no residual impacts left for any conditioning to develop. Another incident in Adi Shankaracharya's life, that he meets this young kid who has never spoken since his birth. He later is given sannyasa diksha and given a name Hastamalaka. And this Hastamalaka, when approached by Adi Shankaracharya, his parents bring him and introduce him. So he sits right in front of him and asks him, Kosi, who are you? Brahmanaha, Dvijaha, Kshatriyaha, Pum, Naraha. Who are you? And for the first time, this kid opens his mouth. What comes out is Hastamalaka Stotram. He says, none of the conditionings that you are talking about. I just am. Because even to claim that I am Satchidananda Swarupa, that also is a conditioning, and I am not falling trap to that conditioning also. I just am. And he explains that presence, that amness, in the rest of the shlokas. That is his response to Adi Shankaracharya. Then Adi Shankaracharya does namaskar to him and says, Hasta Malaka, Hasta Amalakavat. How deep is his experience of being that unconditional presence is as clear as Amalaka, a gooseberry, an amla on the hand. How clearly can you see it? That clearly he is in that presence of unconditional existence. Achieving to that, reaching to that, and to not carry the air that I am trying to live an unconditional life, because that in itself becomes another layer of conditioning. That conditionings which lead to Anya Bhava. O Lord, use all your weapons to strike them at the root and annihilate them all. Anyam asmat nivapantu taha. All that which creates that otherness, annihilate them all mercilessly. Vishnu Suryaji looks at this mantra in a different way in his commentary. He says, Vikirihi means Parjanya. Parjanya, rains. Parijanayati iti Parjanya. That which gives the scope for different kinds to grow. And that is the meaning that Gurudev uses, that Yagnat Bhavati Parjanya, Yagna Karma Samudbhavam, Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi. In that particular shloka, he says that whenever we are with that integrity of Trikarana, of thought, word and deed in one alignment, tied into righteousness, and when such people come together and when an effort is put, a yagna bhava karma is performed, what it opens up is the field of possibilities. Parjanya, he says, it's field of possibilities. Vikirihi, Parjanya, rains. Because rains, as soon as it falls, it brings in something glorious along with itself, that as soon as it hits the earth, the first rains, you'll start seeing that the earth starts, yielding these new crop. You may have been watering, but the first rains, it starts growing. The scientists say that it is because it brings in a large amount of nitrogen from the atmosphere, but it opens up the field of possibilities. Vikirihi Parjanya. Vikiridaha. the one who gives this field of possibility, the one who gives this rains. Who gives these rains? Vilohitaha. Vilohitaha, Lohitaha, the one who is red in color. And Vishesha, the one who is glowing, is the sun. So, just taking a little tangent here. Our ancient rishis, when they talk about metaphysical stuff, spiritual stuff, it is not to be misunderstood that they had no clue about reality, the world that we live in. They knew that if there are rains, it is because of the presence of the sun, that all the water masses across, the water evaporates and condenses, reaching to a higher height, comes down, and there is rain. Vilohitaha, the sun. Adityat jayate vrishtihi. So says the Sukta. By the presence of that Aditya, the sun, there is vrishti. Vrishti, rains. Now taking this to a spiritual significance and connecting it, these rains, when they connect with that glowing spark of life within, it opens up the channel of the Chandra Kundalini. The Kundalini rises. And there is in Yoga Shastra, in the Yoga Sutras, there is a mention that as the Kundalini raises, as it hits the Sahasrara, overflows in the Sahasrara and starts dripping down. So it has risen from the Mooladhara, goes through all the chakras, because the individual has purified each chakra, cleared it up. So this energy raises up, reaches to the Sahasrara, and the Sahasrara gets filled. Every single, the petal is filled with that Amrita. And having filled, it starts overflowing. And when that overflow happens, it starts coming back. And then it flows into the Kantha Kupa. It starts dripping into the Kantha. Kantha, the throat. So there are various techniques in which they turn the tongue within and sit for dhyana. And such people, when that Varsha, when that Kantha Kupa Varsha happens, that Parjanya happens, Vikirida. Vikirida means that spiritual energy which reaches to the Sahasrara, comes down dripping into the Kantha, rains forth. Such one, they experience lack of thirst or hunger. Now don't look at me thinking, is it even possible? Morning breakfast, before lunch hits, I need something in between. Then lunch, then something, nashta. Then something, then dinner. And if I'm staying awake for a longer period, then late night snack. Constantly there is ahuti happening. Coffee samarpayami, tea samarpayami, chivda samarpayami, kachori samarpayami, dhokla samarpayami, idli samarpayami, vadam samarpayami. Constantly, madhya, things are going in. I have had the opportunity to be with certain masters who I know for sure that one of them I spent about 2.5, 3 months. I had taken time off, gone there. He was very critical in his questions. He said, "What do you want?" I said, "No, I just came to serve." I immediately said, okay, put your luggage that side, start survey. And it is morning 4 o'clock to night 9 o'clock. Constantly back to back. And 9 o'clock it doesn't end. 9 o'clock is like a satsang that happens, which may end at 9:30, which may end at 11:30, depending on the topic, depending on the intensity. And after those 2-3 months, one of the things that I wanted to closely sit and observe was, I had been told that this Mahatma never has to eat or drink. So how would you know it unless you have spent time, at least a good enough chunk of time? So after those 2.5 months, when I finally said, I think I'll take your leave. So he looks with a mischievous twinkle in his eyes. Now you believe? I had not revealed that I had come with that purpose. He looks at me very clearly and says, now you believe? I very sheepishly, just bent my head and now that you have spent these many days, spend another 15 days. That way it will do good to you. I had to spend another 15 days with him. I had constantly been with him, observing every movement of his. Never touches water or food, nothing is required. And this was about 15 years ago. And he is about 79, 80. Since he had got Diksha from his Guru, for about 45, 50 years, not touched anything from this material. So when he very openly cornered me with that question, I said, but how is it possible? I believe it, but how is it possible? He said, for your energy, you have to connect with this material. For me, I am connecting with that big tank. And he keeps me constantly supplied with whatever is required, internally and externally. And for them, according to the Yoga Shastra, this particular mantra, as it reveals that their entire nadi is opened up, Sushumna, and that Vrishti, Vikirida, is blessing them constantly by not having, only the byproduct is there is no hunger and thirst. There is another meaning. Kriti means chedana, that dhatu is used to give the meaning chedana, to penetrate, to cut asunder. Now here he takes from the Shaiva Puranas to bring this reference, that both in Varaha Avatara and Nrsimha Avatara, Lord Vishnu, when he took that avatara, he temporarily forgot going back to Vaikuntha. In Varaha Avatara, he started spending time with Varahi, Lakshmi ji, who had taken an avatara of the boar along with him. They both forgot going back to Vaikuntha. And in Nrsimha Avatara, the rage that was churning forth would not subside when the Brahma and Shiva, when they could not reach. They sent Lakshmi ji. When Lakshmi ji came in, she said, I can probably handle the kind of Vishnu who has a normal form. And then she very intelligently, like any other mother, she says, Beta, you go. And she sends Prahlada. He does speak to Prahlada, but then the rage doesn't subside. He is constantly running around with that rage. So in both these avatars, in the Varaha Avatara, as in the form of Shiva himself, and in the Nrsimha Avatara, he comes in the form avatar of Sharabha. Sharabha is a lion's top body and with wings, 8 limbs, 8 hands, and he comes and picks up this Nrsimha avatar and takes him far away until his rage is subsided, thus redeeming both these avatars so that they can come back to Vaikuntha. Now, here the connection that is being given is Kiri is a boar or a lion, the Varaha avatar and the Nrsimha avatar. Vikiri is the auspicious avatar taken by Vishesh avatar taken by Lord Vishnu in both these forms. Vikiri, that Shiva who has helped both these avatars to come back to Vaikuntha after the avatar is done. It's almost like one after the other. It's like both were brothers at the same time, and both of them were creating a havoc, and Bhagavan Shiva helped that Vishnu avatars to transcend it. So in here, the Nrsimha, meaning Nara Sharira Abhimana, that which grips, that Sadbuddhi which comes in the grip of the identification is the Nrsimha or Varaha. And the one who has redeemed them is Vikirida. And in redeeming them, in releasing them from these bodies, the entire cosmos went red. The one who caused that redness in plucking back these two avatars of Vishnu back to Vaikuntha. Such Shiva, who has been the help of even Vishnu, may he, because he has helped him, is more than qualified to help us all. May he, to us, how are we? The ones who are Ananya Bhaktana, the one who are constantly in tune with his presence. To such one, may he protect us, and that ahankara, that conditioning which makes us limited and see the anya bhava, may that ahankara be destroyed. Vikirida vilohita namaste astu bhagavaha. Now, moving to the next mantra. Repeat the 12th mantra. That is also the last mantra of this Anuvaka. Repeat after me. Sahasrani sahasradha bahuvostava hetayah tasamishano bhagavah parachina mukhakridhi. So in this mantra, the dhyana shloka is Sarva papaharam devam sarvabharana bhushitam sarva yudhadharam devam sarvaloka maheshwaram. May we meditate upon that Lord who is, or who destroys all the sins and the cause for dukkha. Sarva papaharam devam. The one who is decorated with beautiful ornaments. Sarva bharana bhushitam. He is not just the beauty, he is also the strength, and the strength expressing through. Sarva yudhadharam, holding different kinds of ayudha, holding different kinds of weapons. To that Sarva loka maheshwaram, the Ishvara of the entire cosmos. The Ishvara, the boss, who is the protector of this entire universe. Sarvapapaharam devam sarvabharanabhushitam sarvayudhadharam devam sarvalokamaheshwaram. This mantra is given by Narada Muni. Chanda is in Anushtup and the Devata is Shambhu Devata. What are the results of this particular mantra? The results of this particular mantra is removes all obstacles in whatever we are pursuing so that we can accomplish those pursuits, however small, however big. So usually this mantra is chanted before you are taking long journeys, hard journeys. You're going to a yatra or you're going to a difficult journey. Chant this mantra 11 times. Or before you start a new job, before you start a new work, or you start a new project, chant this mantra 11 times. And when this mantra is performed or observed or chanted for 10,000 times chanting, not 10,000, sorry, 1,000 times chanting per day for 6 days, 6 nights, following severe penance. So before you chant this for 6 days, 6 nights, observing severe penance and discipline for 1 month and then chanting it 1,000 times per day, 6 days, you get mantra siddhi. So you have mantra siddhi and removes obstacles in accomplishing whatever we are pursuing. Sahasrani sahasrada bahuvostava hetayah tasamishano bhagavah parachi namukakradhi. Sahasrani, there are thousands. Sahasrada, in thousands of varieties or countless varieties. Bahuoho, bahuoho, in both hands. Tava, of you. Hetayah, in all these 1,000 hands or innumerable hands in thousands of varieties, you have hetayah, weapons. Ishanaha, well versed in using all of them with exquisite skill. Ishanaha. Bhagavaha, again, O Lord, endowed with the 6 qualities. Parachina mukha kridhi. Parachina, away from us. Kridhi, turn them, make them turn. Mukha, away from the face. A comprehensive meaning. O Lord, there are thousands of countless varieties of weapons in your hands. May you, the wielder of these weapons, turn them away from us. May you grant us the boon, the blessing to be on the path. Now, Abhinava Shankaraji, he says, life is a saga of sorrows, difficulties and miseries. Is there anyone who has been blessed enough that there is no sorrow, misery or difficulty that that individual has ever gone through? Each one of us has something or the other of that kind. There is a story that Buddha was walking through a village and this mother in lot of pain and anguish comes to him saying, my son just passed away. I hear you and your greatness. Can you revive my child? Can you bring him back to life? He says, I can bring him back, provided if you can get me 10 mustard seeds from a house where there has never been death, where there never been any sorrow, where there has never been any misery. It was not that he was trying to use those 10 mustard seeds for some special mantra and suddenly crush it and juice it and inject into the child. Oh, we didn't know mustard seed has this kind of power, that if you can get those 10 mustard seeds and somebody can be alive again. The thing that he was trying to prove is every household, every individual has to go through unavoidable circumstances of sorrow, misery, and difficulties. It's the naked truth of life. That is why his 4 pillars, he says, dukkha is something which is of a necessity for spiritual growth. So dukkha is inevitable. We cannot avoid it. We don't have a choice whether we have to go through this dukkha or not. But we do have a choice how to go through that prarabdha. Going through that prarabdha, because that prarabdha is also a prasada of the Lord. What is that difficulty meant for? That we have a choice. Going through those difficult moments, whether I come out through those experiences a better person or a bitter person, that choice we all have. When we see it as his prasada, then we can come through with being a better person through that experience, learned person with more wisdom through that experience of difficulty. There is no knife that can be sharpened without rough surface. As that knife is put across to, also you have to know how to put that knife on that rough surface. Back in while I was growing up, every now and then there would be this fellow coming with a little rough surfaced wheel on a wooden cart, carrying on his shoulders, claiming that aapke kainchi, aapke, they'll make a big slogan out of it, saying that we'll sharp anything other than your wisdom. Other than that, we can sharpen anything else. So when you give your various instruments to get sharpened, one thing that you observe is they don't go directly applying it, at a 90-degree angle. And Gurudev puts it in the self-unfoldment as an example in a chapter, right in the initial chapters, wherein he talks about the art of right contact. Even in using that rough surface, that difficult moment, how do you place yourself so that you can come out sharp? You require a little angle. You go with a predisposed mindset, will never come out better. Guilt, remorse, frustration, anger, these become the results. Like, when there are people playing cricket. And the funniest irony in there is the tail enders. Usually those last 2-3 batsmen, how are they? They are very good bowlers. They can trick best of the batsmen. with their bowling skill. But when they are at the other end receiving that ball, hilarious lot. It's good to be an all-rounder. Good at bowling, good at batting, good at fielding. You are an asset. If the what do you call them, the first set of them, the first 3 or 4 of them, what are they called? The openers. If they fall short, and it soon trips down to these last tailenders, man, you should look at the frenetic condition there. They come with this, and the bowlers know that these tailenders, there is one ball which will undo them. It's called a Yorker. Right length between bat and pad, because these people come with a predisposed conditioning. Throw any ball, I'm going to hit it only in this way. And many a times they're just hitting wind. Life is like that you are the batsman. And various experiences that are hurled at us. See, it can be an agreement, it can be an understanding. If you come into the field, like you're a kid, you're still trying to learn, you're trying to appreciate, you're trying to grow fond of that game. You don't put that child at 150 kilometers per hour ball. And like you first teach them how to hold and throw them right onto the bat and underarm, lallu ball. And they hit it, and then you, hey, good job. And they also start developing that interest in it. Now you're going into the international arena. There, when the ball is coming fast, they say, hey, this is not fair, huh? Slow ball, okay? No. Whether it is a slow ball, whether it is a fast ball, however it is, you do not have a choice to run away from there. And there's so much of details that you have to read into. What is the angle with which they are coming? Whether the seam is straight or whether the seam is flat. With your earlier practice, you should understand when it is flat, it comes and it tricks you in this direction. When it is in this straight seam, then you have to also focus which side of the ball is shining. You know, these bowlers, they are constantly trying to polish one side, the other side is left blunt. If it is to this side, the ball will tip, and the wind is coming in this direction, the ball will swing. And right at that point when they are releasing that ball, what angle is the hand in? Is it from the up? Is it from the low? Is it going to be a fast ball? Is it going to be a tricky, slow one? And then reading the ball as it comes close. Then in a conscious background, knowing where these different fielders are. And then reading this ball and placing it in such a way that it is in between, so that you can score some runs. Best stroke is when it is hit in such a way that it finds the boundary. But the bestest stroke that I love is when there is a straight seam and there is the shining edge, shining side which is to the inside, and the bowler is bowling it, and you know that the ball, as soon as it hits the ground, it is, as it is raising, because of the shine, it is cutting through that wind and taking it away. And you're still ready that if it doesn't go that far, you take the stance. But if it is going too far away, because you know mentally in the background that there is a slip, there is a second slip, there is gully. For somebody who is hearing it, who has no clue about cricket, I'm sorry. And then you know it is going further away. Don't need to rush there and then reach out and try to hit it, because the moment you snick it, you will be caught. So what is the best thing? You have taken the stance, but then to have enough courage to stop yourself and let the ball go. That is called well left. Best stroke. Even applicable in our life. You are standing there and this person is all getting worked up and getting red in their face like a tomato, and is about to say something, and you know they are in an agitated condition. You don't need to get agitated equally and resonate with them. And they are saying something, doing something they have said is so harsh. You don't need to keep your heart open. Bell, mujhe maar, hit me there. Give them a soft target. You're reading it. And you've known that person for your entire life. What do? Well left. No, wait for me. I'll show you what I can do. You want to hurt me? I will also hurt you equally. Ho gaya. And Guruji puts it very beautifully. The easiest way to bring shanti, harmony in home is jitni jaldi haar mani, utni jaldi harmony. You don't need to leave it well left. So all these experiences are thousands of weapons that the Lord has, which He constantly throws at you. All these difficulties, consider them, take them with prasada buddhi. Lord, thank you for these experiences. Also give me the buddhi, dhiyo yona prachodayat, illuminate, as to how do I use these experiences so that I can come through them as a better person, not as a bitter person. Being Bhagavan, being Ishana, you are the controller of all these experiences. Release them in such a way that it benefits me to grow, rather than to be hit across in such a way that I would never fathom growing. All these are my own prarabdha. I know I cannot escape them. But at least what you can do as a controller, time them. Release them in such timely manner that it helps me grow from one step to the other. I'm not saying avoid them. Bring it on. But give me that capacity, give me that intelligence to use it, to make it a stepping stone so that I can grow. In the Skandadeva Bhashya, he says, Pratyekancha sahasradha bahu sahasranam sahasraniyaha santi vottama hetayah tava shivasara vyeya bahu ishuhu. He says, O Lord, with all these innumerable hands, thousands and varieties of excellence of weapons, you have amazing mastery over all of these weapons of how to use them, causing death, destruction with them, and also to withdraw them. You have mastery in both sides. Ishanaha Bhagavan Srujasyavasi Tat Chitram Kimatra He Prabhu. There is no wonder, Chitram, that you can create, maintain, and withdraw them. And then he says something very beautiful. He says, Punya Punya Kritaha Parasparam Sambhinna Na Laksham Lakshanat Lakshikritatu. Very beautifully he says, for men who have done good deeds and for those men who are sinners, who have done bad deeds, cannot be equal targets of those weapons. Not everybody gets to be the target. You are the one with these weapons who is Nigrahanugraha Varada He Prabhu. A very beautiful word. Nigrahanugraha Varada He Prabhu. You are Anugraha in protecting them with those weapons, and you are the one who causes it to be the Nigraha to punish them as well. As and when you choose whatever that I have done, there is no better judge than you. Whether it is to protect them or whether it is to provide these difficulties, make sure that I have that buddhi, that I see through these experiences as my stepping stones to grow. All the commentators equally say one thing about this mantra, is that this mantra is asking for that buddhi, that sadbuddhi, by which, whether it is a blessing, that which we usually in a common day-to-day language call as a blessing, a good experience, or whether it be a bad experience with our common language, may I see both of them as your grace alone, both trying to protect me and trying to help me grow from my existing conditioning to become the unconditional one. Nigrahanugraha Varadahe Prabhu. That both of them, may they be a boon, a blessings to us. So whenever we are in difficult times, a simple way to understand, stop complaining, why am I going through this? The moment we understand that I am going through this, what is it that I have to learn from it, perfect, so that I don't need to end up in this situation again and again and again. Because every experience is providing a scope for each individual to grow to the next best level, to the next higher good level. Having come to the international arena to play the game, I cannot say I was not prepared. Life is like that. One has to be constantly prepared for it. Thus, we come to the end of 10th Anuvaka. Tomorrow we will see the 11th Anuvaka. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.